All right, everyone, welcome. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me for this training session of Road Safety 365, a safety workshop for local governments. My name is Scott Tyson. I'm going to be your instructor. And we want to spend some time this afternoon talking about not only how do we improve safety on our roadway, but how do we get the safety message out to people? How do we spot safety challenges that might be waiting to be had? And then how are we responsive to safety messages that are given to us from our clientele, from our customers, from our residents, in what they tell us and some of the complaints that they may have? So I've got some goals today here in module number 1. And the first thing I want to do is I want to demonstrate to you, I want to show you how a construction project or a maintenance project or any other activity can actually impact the safety of a roadway. Whether we are out there doing brand new work or we're just trying to maintain what's already out there, it does impact the safety of the roadway. It impacts the safety of the motoring public, but it also impacts the safety of our workers. So we're going to talk a little bit about that here first. And then I'm going to give you some ideas, some guidance on improving road safety. And we're going to do it in such a way that it's geared to either local road projects, cities and towns, or rural road projects, especially if you're developing certain areas. What are the best ways to manage our day-to-day activities when we're working in either a local or a rural area? And then we're going to talk about how do we let road users and practitioners together identify that there are problems, because you know what, we drive these roads all the time and we all have blind spots. We miss things that are there, or sometimes we miss things that aren't there and we just forget that they're not there. For example, signs have been knocked over and maybe they've been removed, but we haven't replaced the sign. So we as road practitioners, sometimes we fail to identify this stuff because we see it all the time. But then we have road users who see it and complain about it, and it's identified to us in that way. So we're going to talk about how do we identify such, and then how are we going to access appropriate safety information? How are we going to tell that that infrastructure is functioning the way that we want it to? For example, if we have a roadway that has water on it all the time, the water doesn't drain off. We know that the water is seeping down through that pavement because we know that asphalt is porous. Water will go through it. And we know that underneath that pavement, the subbase, the subgrade, that water that's getting through there is wearing those layers away. And so we want to talk about how do we access safety information for the roadway, for the infrastructure, and also use it effectively. We will also talk about data-driven analysis. What can we look at crash reports or complaints, or can we look at the amount of tickets being written in certain areas or some of the fender benders? Does that give us information that we can use to make our roadways a whole lot safer? And then I'm going to encourage of you as we go through this is, man, develop a safety mindset. Because at the end of the day, no matter what project I have ever worked on in the field, the ultimate goal has been to do what? It's been to go home. And I want you to have a safety mindset, not just, hey, I want to go home from this course, but hey, when I'm out on the roadway or I send my people, my men and my women out there, that they are safe. All right. The mindset not only resides within you, but it resides within the workers that you have. When we're done with this course, some of the things you're going to be able to do is you're going to recognize, you know what? There's a real need to make our roads safer. You're going to be able to spot a whole lot more things than maybe you did before. And then you're going to have an idea of what is a safety myth from a safety reality. For example, there are some people who believe the less signs are the better because we don't want to confuse the motorists. Well, there's truth in that. But unfortunately, if you're in a high trafficked area that tends to have a lot of crashes, perhaps some more signage, some more clear signage might help. So we want to discern myth from reality. And then you're going to walk away from this course and go, you know what? I'm able to read the road. I'm able to look at it and I'm able to spot things that are missing. But this is not going to be a negative course because you're going to spot things that are working. You're going to spot things that are in the right place. You're going to say, hey, we've done a good job here. Hey, there's some other things we can do to make things better. So you're going to spot both the positives and the negatives. And then we're going to talk about how do we implement some very practical, low cost countermeasures to improve safety. We're going to do that on any existing roads that you have. We're going to talk about, well, how do we do that when we're in the design phase? We're going to talk about when we're designing a roadway. How do we design it in such a way that we can maintain it down the road? I spent many years working with maintenance. And I can tell you, if a roadway is not constructed to be maintained long term, that roadway is going to deteriorate over time, and we're going to struggle to keep it going. And then we're going to find some low cost safety measures. We're going to discover some ways we can actually plan these and actually implement them on our roadways.